Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The merger of Diamond Bank PLC and Access Bank PLC will create Africa's largest retail bank. Joining us now to discuss further details of this merger as a follow-up from our conversation yesterday with the Group Managing Director of Access Bank is the Group Managing Director of Diamond Bank, Uzoma Dozie. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's start off with a look back in time. Your father, Pascal Dozie, 27 years ago, established Diamond Bank, and it grew to be one of Nigeria's most successful and largest retail banks. How do you feel at this point to preside over the end of this era, which catapulted your family name into the public's consciousness?
Thank you. Interesting question. I don't think it's the end of an era. I think it's morphing into something much bigger. I think that the fact that we have an opportunity to be part of one of the largest retail banks in Nigeria and Africa is something to be proud of. And like we are really going into this, really excited about the opportunities that it will bring for people in Nigeria and beyond.
Well, it's easy for you to say that this is good for shareholders who'll be getting returns for their money. However, there are those who say the bank, your bank, Diamond Bank, got to this stage because of the role you played in the bank, that you are blamed for poor performance.
So you can look. When we look at banks, we look at what we have done. I think 4 years ago we had about 7 million customers. We've doubled that. So we've doubled the number of people on our platform. We have developed, I think, one of the best mobile applications that allows people to be free, to do what they need to do without actually coming to a bank. We have created opportunities for people that are financially excluded. I think over 10 million people now we have transformed their lives, allowing them to open accounts in a cost-effective manner without coming to a branch. Through our partnership with MTN, Diamond Yellow, our better proposition, which is a market account, has allowed us to take banking to people in the marketplace who don't have time to come to branches, to banks, who were reliant on the Ajor system that was created uncertainty. So now we have market women, market people who are now saving, borrowing. We have created over 3,000 jobs for people who now go into market with the better agent. So you can look at it from many sides. And I think the fact that we have a partnership with someone who appreciates what we have done in that space, I think is a success.
So can you tell us what is the value proposition with this combination of Diamond and Access Bank for the shareholders, for the customers, and every other stakeholder?
I think the first winner is definitely the customer. I mean, now we are creating a fantastic platform where there will be more products and services when you combine the strength of Access Bank on the corporate side and the strength of Diamond Bank on the retail side. So you have this massive platform that connecting people to markets. You have more products and services available. And I think one of the benefits of this relationship is that you're bringing two value systems. I think between Access and Diamond, I think we share same values when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and women. In fact, I think on the women agenda, I think between Access and Diamond, I don't think there's any other bank, right, that has provided product solutions or value proposition in that space. So I think the customers are the first winner. Then I think for the staff, you're now combining, you're now giving, I think you're now creating opportunities across over 13 countries, and a larger platform for people to have exciting careers in. And I think it's beyond banking. It's not just banking. It's actually helping people meet their outcomes. And I think that's what those two segments of stakeholders are very, very, very important. Then you have shareholders. Of course, it means that now being part of the largest bank, one of the most largest banks, with many opportunities, means that there's potential upsides. And then I think from a regulatory or Nigeria perspective, I think we're the biggest country in Africa. And so I think it is only fair that we should actually have a platform that also represents that size.
Well, on Monday, yourself and the managing director of Access Bank, who was on the show yesterday, Herbert Wigwe, had a conference call with investors of your bank. And they took you to task with reporting non-performing loans, which your bank reported in the area of 6%. But they say it's about 30%, which is way above the threshold, regulatory threshold in Nigeria. Is there any truth to their assertion, and why was this reported way under?
Well, it wasn't reported way under. I think we have about 150 billion in non-performing loans and attributed to mostly the oil and gas sector. And I think with or without the merger, we were actually going to write it down at the end of the financial year. So those are loans that came from the economic, as a result of the economic, the oil and gas depression, and we had put strategies in place to remove them. And so, with or without the merger, with or without the merger, we're going to go into 2019 without them. So what it just means is that by writing it down in December, we're going to go into this combination, a much lighter combination.
Well, what was the percentage of your non-performing loans really? Because we have the 6% your bank reported, and we have the 30% assertion by the investors. So what really was it?
I think it was about 12%, not the 6%.
Okay. So go ahead.
How much of these bad loans would Access Bank assume?
None, because we will write them down at the end of this financial year. So we're going to go into 2019 before the combination, a much lighter organization.
Let's look at how the bank sort of got here. There's so many stories out there. There's the issue of the loans. Your father, through the investment vehicle of the family, took from GT Bank and was not able to service. There's also the issue of his MTN shares, which he used as collateral, and all of this, boiling down to Access Bank taking over your bank. What is the true story? How did Diamond Bank arrive at this stage?
So, very simply, I think we were going through a capitalization process, and we were looking at what was the best way for Diamond Bank to go forward. And so there was either doing a rights issue or looking at the combination. We appointed advisors to look at both tracks, capital raise and or combination. And our advisors came up, we decided to go on the merger and acquisition track. We had advisors for that. They came up with a short list of banks that would complement our retail capabilities. And we went through a bidding process, and Access Bank came out. So all the other stories are stories.
But yeah, those who say that, there was liability and cash issue. Obviously, you needed capitalization, but there were not really cogent reasons for you to have entered into this merger.
Well, certainly there was. I think we must say that people just don't go into mergers because there's a problem with the organization. People go into mergers because they see an opportunity for shareholders. They see an opportunity to do something bigger, to do something better. And as we go into the 20th, as we go into 2019, 2020, scale is going to be important. As you can see, Tier 1 banks actually, they capture over 80% of the business in Nigeria. And so if you're going to be a strong player, if you're going to be a relevant part in the retail story of Nigeria, you actually need a bigger platform. You need access to resources and capital. And that's exactly what the shareholders of Diamond Bank want to do. And I think that's the right way. So it is not, we could have gone on our own, but then we would still be the fastest growing retail bank, but then we want to be more impactful in Nigerian life. And I think if we have a bigger platform, we can we can do more in the Nigerian space. And that's exactly what we did.
Let's look at the legacy bad loans. How much of this did you assume from your predecessor, Alex Otti?
Quite a bit of it, actually. But I think some will actually go beyond him as well. But I mean, when you take over a business, you take over everything regardless of who created it, and your job is to actually solve that problem.
Well, why is it? What attempts did you make for those debtors to repay those loans, and why were they not successful?
Of course, at the bank, you make. I mean, some of them. Your ability to pay and willingness to pay are two different things. So you have a situation where some of the customers have the ability, but not the willingness, and so you find yourself in arbitration or court. You have cases where they have the willingness, but not the ability. So you find ways. So you find that some of these loans have been restructured for over a longer period. Some of these loans have been written off, and then you also go through recovery. And right now, I think as the economy picks up, we're beginning to see a lot of recovery on the NPL side.
Well, you spent most of your life as a banker. Following this, what is next in store for you?
Well, I would say that, yes, I've spent 25 years in a bank. I think in the last 5 years, I wouldn't call it, I think we've been doing more than banking. I think we have a saying that we go beyond banking. And what we're trying to do is work with on the small business side where there's an opportunity, inclusion, trying to bring people into social inclusion, and also trying to provide more opportunities for women. And so I think that is a great opportunity. There's a great opportunity for that in the Nigerian space, and that's something I'll continue, but probably on another platform eventually.
Following the business combination with Access Bank, the entity known as Diamond Bank, we gather, will cease to exist. Will your family still retain some interest in this new entity, or will that also go with Diamond Bank?
No, so we have, like the combination, we're exchanging shares, so two Access Bank shares for 7 Diamond Bank shares. So we are still going to be shareholders in the new entity. I think, like I said, it provides a great opportunity for shareholders and for stakeholders in that entity, and we want to play our role and enjoy the ride.
What is your message to shareholders, the investors, the customers, at this time, at this moment? We know that the finalization won't be till end of first quarter next year. But at this time, what is your message to them, reassuring them that this is safe and this is in their best interest?
So I think even before, as standalone organizations, I think customers of both companies have been enjoying fantastic services. Now, before the legal merge, they will have access to our services. So, and don't forget, we have over between us, we have over 3,000 ATMs, over 20,000 point-of-sale terminals. We have solutions on both sides that we're going to now open up to our different customers. And so it's going to be, pre the legal merge, I think it's going to be a platform that allows over 27 million customers on either side of the bank, of both banks, to enjoy services that no other bank can provide on one single platform.
Diamond Bank had such a unique brand and occupied a unique space in the market. How are you personally going to ensure that that imprint remains in this new entity that's been created?
So I think it's beyond me. I think what we're trying to do as a new entity is to ensure that we create seamless services and also experience for customers. So we are going to come up with a new identity, an identity that captures the essence of both organizations, so our customers that do not feel that anything has changed as well, but it's probably new and improved and just reflects the opportunity that the new entity will bring to Nigeria.
The MD of Access Bank yesterday talked about rationalization of banks and branches. You've talked about investors and shareholders, but what about the workers, the Diamond Bank workers who have had the culture, the imprint of Diamond Bank? What are you saying to them at this time? Because we know this is somewhat an outright sale.
So I think, there's a great saying that there's strength in diversity. And so when you I think the magic is bringing two different cultures with similar values that cross across, right, to do something completely diverse, completely great. And I think that's what the opportunity is. I think we have an opportunity to, create this platform with different types of people, right, trying to address. And in our customer space, there are different types of people. So what you need is diverse cultures, diverse experience to address those issues. So as a platform, a larger platform, there are opportunities for a lot of people. Branch closures do not normally sometimes relate to losses of staff, because as a brand, Diamond Bank, one of the things we've been doing over the years is making our branches more efficient, using less people, centralizing services that we didn't need to put in branches as well. So, and it means that we can, and I think regardless of this measure, the future of work is also changing as well. You have people now who, because of the technological advances, are beginning to change, do more things, change roles. Retooling people as well is going to be a new industry, because you're going to have people who do not, where robotics is going to actually be doing things much better. And so what are you going to do with those people? You're going to actually have to retool them, And that cuts across whether you're merging or whether you're in an existing business. It's a reality that has to be addressed. And I think we're putting in place that mechanism to address that.
So you've announced the merger now. Can you take us through the timeline for the finalization?
Well, I'm not an investment banker, but I know that we intend to legally merge before half year 2019. And so between now and then, we'll be going through all the necessary court processes, legal processes, getting approvals from regulators, and then also working to we'll have an integration team that's from both sides is going to be working to create new processes and procedures that will allow the new entity to be successful.
Well, let's digress from the merger. Let's go to some family business. We do know that your family is in charge of a large bulk of real estate in Lagos, on your route to be precise, such as the Landmark Event Center. Perhaps since you said you'll be doing so many things on other platforms, are you going to also be involved in running this real estate business of the family?
Well, real estate, I think most of my family members are actually in financial services or doing things in the tech space. So I think I will be continuing where my competence is, which is going to be, as I said, working in the entrepreneurial space. And I think that's where the greatest opportunities are. I think there are other ex-people who can do better at the real estate. I'll just stick to what I'm passionate about.
Finally, let me just ask this. If you had to do it differently, what would you do differently to have Diamond Bank stand as an entity on its own?
I don't think I would do anything differently, because I think a platform is a platform. Things change, things improve, and we're going through a world now where things are always changing. And sometimes if you get fixated, like the brand, I think the people make the brand. Okay. People make the brand. The brand is a reflection of what people have been doing. And I think we can take it a notch higher. So I think this I'm very confident about this new combination that we have created. I think it's very, very exciting for people. And all I would say is just watch that space.
Mr. Uzoma Dozie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's time now for a short break. When we come back, the Nigerian Football Federation President, Amaju Pinnick, will be here. Stay with us.